Before we talk about clear signs, you need to understand one important truth about attraction. Women rarely express interest in a direct or obvious way at the beginning. Especially when it comes to emotional or physical intimacy, the first signals are usually subtle, indirect, and deeply psychological. This is because intimacy is not just physical, it is emotional safety first. A woman may feel something for you long before she ever shows it clearly, but instead of saying it out loud, she communicates through behavior, energy shifts, and small changes in how she interacts with you. If you've ever felt confused, like, does she like me or is she just being friendly? You're not alone. Most men miss the early signs because they are expecting bold signals, but female attraction often starts quietly. In this video, we are breaking down two clear psychological signs that a woman secretly wants intimacy with you even if she hasn't said it directly. But first, let's understand the foundation. When a woman feels even a slight emotional or physical attraction, her behavior begins to change in three subtle ways. She becomes more emotionally present around you. She starts testing your reactions. She creates more personal or private moments. These changes don't always look dramatic, but they are powerful indicators of interest. One of the strongest early signals is when her behavior shifts from general politeness to selective attention. She may talk to others normally, but with you, she becomes more engaged, more curious, and sometimes even slightly nervous or playful. This is not random. It's her subconscious trying to explore emotional connection without risking rejection. Another important thing to understand is that women often feel first, then analyze later. This means attraction can exist internally before she even understands it herself. That's why her actions may sometimes feel inconsistent, warm one moment, distant the next. That push and pull is not confusion, it is emotional processing. Now, before we move into the first clear sign, you need to observe one key thing: energy difference. Does she treat you differently than other men? Does her voice change when she talks to you? Does she find small reasons to stay near you or continue conversations? These subtle behaviors are where real psychological signals live. Because when a woman secretly feels drawn toward intimacy with someone, she doesn't immediately express it with words. Instead, she reveals it through behavior patterns that repeat over time. This is one of the most powerful and misunderstood signs in female psychology. When a woman secretly feels attraction and begins to desire emotional or physical intimacy, she often does something very specific. She creates closeness that is not required by the situation. At first, it looks innocent, even normal. But if you pay attention, you'll notice a pattern. She is trying to build a private emotional connection with you that goes beyond basic friendship or casual interaction. This is not about being polite. This is about selective emotional investment. For example, she may start sharing personal thoughts with you that she doesn't share with others. Not necessarily deep secrets at first, but small emotional details like her mood, her stress, her daily feelings, or her private opinions about things. Why does this matter? Because emotional sharing is the first gateway to intimacy. When a woman starts letting you into her emotional world, she is subconsciously building trust and testing your emotional response. She wants to see, do you listen carefully? Do you judge her or accept her? Do you make her feel safe or uncomfortable? If she continues this behavior repeatedly, it means she is not just talking, she is bonding. Another important part of this sign is extended communication behavior. She finds reasons to keep conversations going even when they could easily end. For example, she replies with follow-up questions, adds extra details, or reopens topics you already finished talking about. This is not random conversation. It is emotional extension. She is not ready to disconnect from you. Now, here is the key psychological layer most people miss. A woman does not invest emotional closeness unless she feels some level of comfort, curiosity, or attraction. If she sees you as completely neutral, she keeps things short and structured. But when intimacy is subconsciously desired, her communication becomes more fluid, more open, and more personal. You may also notice subtle availability signals. She responds faster than usual to you. She remembers small details you said before. She initiates conversations without needing a reason. These are not just habits, these are emotional indicators. However, there is an important distinction here. Not every friendly woman is attracted to you. The difference lies in consistency and depth. If she is only polite, her behavior stays surface level. But if she is secretly drawn to intimacy, she gradually increases emotional depth over time. It doesn't happen all at once, it builds. And most men miss it because they are looking for obvious flirting, while real attraction starts with emotional proximity first. So if a woman is slowly pulling you into her personal emotional space, remembering small details about you, and finding reasons to stay connected longer than necessary, this is your first clear psychological sign. This second sign is even more telling because it moves from emotional closeness into something more instinctive: body language and physical awareness. When a woman secretly wants intimacy with you, her body often reveals what her words don't. She may not say anything directly, but her behavior in physical space starts to change in very noticeable psychological patterns. This is called proximity testing: how close she allows herself to be near you, and how she reacts when that distance changes. At first, it is very subtle. You might notice she sits slightly closer than necessary when there is space available. Or, when you're in a group setting, she naturally positions herself in your direction without consciously planning it. This is not random positioning, it is subconscious attraction behavior. The human brain tends to move closer to what feels emotionally or physically appealing, even without awareness. So when a woman is drawn to someone, her body naturally reduces distance over time. But proximity alone is not the full signal. The second layer is micro reactions to touch and presence. For example, she doesn't immediately pull away if your hands accidentally brush. She becomes slightly more aware of your movements near her. She reacts differently when you stand or sit close compared to others. These reactions are not loud or obvious. In fact, they are often very quick and subtle, but they are consistent. Another key detail is self-awareness of appearance around you. When a woman is attracted or secretly considering intimacy, she becomes more conscious of how she looks when you are nearby. You may notice she adjusts her hair or clothes more often around you. She straightens her posture when you look at her. She becomes slightly more expressive or playful in your presence. This is not about vanity. It is about impression management. She is unconsciously trying to present her best version to someone she feels drawn to. Now, here is the deeper psychological layer. When intimacy interest begins to develop, a woman's body language becomes a mix of comfort and tension at the same time. Comfort shows that she feels safe around you. Tension shows that she is emotionally or physically aware of attraction. This combination creates behaviors like slight nervous laughter, brief eye contact followed by looking away, playing with objects while talking to you, small pauses in conversation when you are very close. These are not signs of disinterest. They are signs of internal emotional processing. Her mind is trying to balance attraction and control at the same time. And this is where most people misunderstand her behavior. They assume nervousness means she is uncomfortable. But in attraction psychology, controlled nervous energy often means she is emotionally affected by your presence. So if you notice that she naturally reduces physical distance, becomes more aware of her appearance around you, and reacts differently to your proximity compared to others, this is a strong psychological indicator that she is not just comfortable, but emotionally and physically engaged at a deeper level. Now that you understand both signs separately, the real insight comes when you see how they work together. Most people make a mistake here. They try to judge interest using only one type of signal, either emotional closeness or physical behavior. But real attraction, especially when it moves toward intimacy, always shows a combination of both. When a woman is secretly interested in you on a deeper level, her emotional and physical behavior begin to align over time. This is where patterns become clearer. Let's connect the first sign and the second one. From section 2, we learned she starts building emotional closeness. She shares personal thoughts. She extends conversations. She becomes selectively more open with you. From section 3, we saw physical awareness increases. She reduces distance naturally. She becomes more conscious of her appearance. She reacts differently to your presence and touch. When both of these happen together consistently, it creates a very strong psychological indicator. You are no longer just a casual person in her life. You are becoming emotionally significant. And this is the key difference. A woman can be friendly emotionally without attraction. A woman can also be physically comfortable without interest. But when emotional openness and physical awareness increase at the same time, it usually means her feelings are moving into deeper territory. Another important pattern appears here: behavior consistency over time. Real interest is not based on one good conversation or one moment of closeness. It is repeated behavior across different situations. For example, she consistently engages more with you than others. She maintains eye contact longer over time. She continues personal conversations without needing a reason. She repeatedly positions herself closer in different environments. This repetition is what separates curiosity from real emotional attraction. Now, here is a very important psychological truth. When a woman starts feeling emotional safety plus physical awareness around someone, her brain begins to associate that person with comfort and curiosity at the same time. This combination is powerful because it slowly lowers emotional resistance. That's why you may notice she becomes more relaxed around you over time. She starts initiating conversations more naturally. She shows more personality instead of guarded behavior. This is not accidental. It is emotional conditioning happening in real time. However, there is also an important caution. Not every signal should be rushed into interpretation. Human behavior is complex and context matters. Some women are naturally expressive or friendly. That's why you always look for patterns, not moments. Ask yourself, does she act this way repeatedly only with you? Does her behavior shift when you enter or leave a space? Is there a gradual increase in emotional or physical engagement? If the answer trends toward yes over time, then you are observing genuine psychological interest developing. When emotional closeness and physical awareness begin working together, it is no longer random behavior. It becomes a consistent attraction pattern. Now you have seen the two major signs: emotional closeness and physical awareness. But the most important part is understanding what these signals actually mean in real life, because this is where most misunderstandings happen. Attraction is not always equal to action. A woman can feel emotionally drawn to you, curious about you, or even physically aware of you without immediately acting on those feelings. This is where emotional maturity and psychological awareness matter the most. So, what does it really mean when both signs appear together? It means you are inside her emotional radar. She is no longer seeing you as just another person. You have become someone who creates emotional response and physical awareness in her mind. That alone is significant, but it does not automatically guarantee clear intention for intimacy. Instead, it usually means three possible things are developing. 1. She feels emotionally safe with you. Emotional safety is the foundation of deeper connection. If she opens up, shares thoughts, and keeps conversations alive, it means she trusts your presence on some level. 2. She is testing emotional compatibility. Women often don't rush into clarity. Instead, they observe behavior over time: how you respond, how consistent you are, and how you make them feel emotionally. 3. She is becoming aware of attraction. Physical signals like proximity, eye contact, and awareness of appearance suggest she is not emotionally neutral anymore. There is internal interest being processed. But here is the most important truth: interest is not the same as intention. Interest means she feels something. Intention means she decides to act on it. Between these two stages, there is often a long period of observation, hesitation, and emotional evaluation. That is why reading signals correctly requires patience and consistency, not assumptions based on single moments. Now, let's clear a major misconception. Many people think these signs guarantee she secretly wants intimacy in a direct or immediate way. But psychology doesn't work like that. Attraction is layered. It can exist in emotional form long before it becomes physical or expressed openly. So, the correct way to interpret these signs is she is emotionally engaged. She is psychologically aware of your presence. She is gradually increasing connection behavior. This means a deeper connection is forming, not necessarily that she is ready for immediate intimacy. The healthiest mindset is not to rush interpretation, but to observe direction. Ask yourself, is her behavior becoming more open over time? Is emotional interaction increasing naturally? Is there consistent attention that others don't receive? If the answer is yes, then you are seeing progression, not coincidence. And that is the real key in female psychology. Progression over time reveals truth more than any single signal. To conclude, the two clear signs, emotional closeness and physical awareness, are not random behaviors. They are part of a deeper psychological process where attraction slowly builds through trust, comfort, and subconscious interest. But the most powerful insight is this: when a woman secretly feels something, she doesn't always tell you directly. She shows it gradually, through patterns that only become clear when you are paying attention over time. And once you understand these patterns, you stop guessing and start reading behavior with clarity and control.